When you're on a GLP-1, the food noise is supposed to be quieter. Maybe you're eating less and you feel more in control than you used to, but for some reason, food still has a hold on you. You're not physically hungry, but you're still thinking about food, still reaching for snacks, still walking into the kitchen without even realizing it. So you start to wonder, if the cravings are gone, then what is this? That's what we're unpacking today. In this video, we're going to talk about why food can still feel emotionally charged, even when you're not hungry, and what's really going on in your brain. We'll look at how GLP-1 medications shift certain pathways, but don't erase the emotional or conditioned patterns behind eating. By the end of this video, I hope you not only understand what's happening, but that you feel less shame and more empowered to make sustainable changes. For a lot of us, food has never just been about nutrition. It's been comfort, safety, something to look forward to, something to soften the hard edges of a bad day. And for some people, especially those of us who've struggled with weight, it's been one of the only reliable sources of relief. So even when your body no longer signals hunger the same way, your brain may still be holding on to the emotional attachment. Food became wired into how you cope. And that wiring doesn't just disappear because the hunger does. GLP-1 medications work on several levels. They help you feel satisfied sooner, they reduce appetite, and they slow down gastric emptying. All of that creates a physical sense of calm around food, but these medications also act on certain parts of your brain, like the hypothalamus and areas involved in reward signaling. So, yes, your reward response to food might be less intense. You may no longer be drawn in by cravings the same way. You might even feel neutral about foods you used to obsess over. But here's the catch. While your physical drive for food might go down, the emotional and behavioral routines around food can still be very present. That's because GLP-1s shift your body's response, but they don't rewrite your life's experiences. If you've ever eaten just to feel better, you've used food as a form of emotional regulation. That's your nervous system doing what it was trained to do. When we're young, many of us are soothed with food. We celebrate with food, we grieve with food, we numb with food. And over time, our brain starts to associate food with emotional relief. What starts as an occasional thing becomes automatic. GLP-1s don't directly undo that. They might make it easier to pause before acting on the urge, but they don't erase the emotional imprint that says, when I feel overwhelmed, I eat. That's why you might still reach for something even if you're not hungry. Your body's not asking for food. Your nervous system is asking for relief. The more often we repeat something, especially during strong emotional states, the more deeply it gets wired into our brain. Let's say you used to eat ice cream every night while watching TV. Even if your appetite is now lower, sitting down to watch something still might trigger the thought, where's the ice cream? Or maybe stress used to send you straight to the pantry. Now, you're not actually craving anything, but your brain still expects food to follow the feeling of overwhelm. These are conditioned responses. And while the medication can interrupt the loop, it doesn't always replace it. That part is still up to you. I want to pause for a second. If you're feeling disappointed or frustrated that you're still struggling with food, even after everything you've learned, even with the medication, I want you to know this is a chance to understand yourself more clearly. You're discovering that your relationship with food was never just physical, it was emotional, it was behavioral, and it was shaped over years, maybe even decades. GLP-1s can be an incredible tool, but they don't erase emotional conditioning or teach you new coping skills. That's your work, and it's going to take time. Let's talk strategy. If you're noticing that food still has a hold on you, even with the medication helping physically, here's what you can start exploring. Notice your patterns. When are you most likely to think about food, even when you're not hungry? Boredom? Loneliness? Transitions in your day? Interrupt the autopilot. When you notice the urge, pause. Take one breath and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Experiment with new relief tools. It won't feel the same at first, but try things like journaling, stretching, calling a friend, or stepping outside. Even a small shift matters. Be kind to yourself. That shame spiral does way more damage than one snack ever could. If you notice yourself reaching for food, just gently ask yourself why, without judgment. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about building awareness and practicing new options. Your body might respond quickly to a GLP-1, but your brain rewires at a much slower pace. That's important to understand because what you're doing now, pausing, noticing, choosing something different, that's laying down new neural pathways. The more often you make those small intentional shifts, the more your brain starts to prefer the new pattern. But it doesn't happen overnight. The old path feels easier because it's been walked the most. The new path is still being built. So when the urge to emotionally eat shows up, don't panic. That's not a setback. That's just a moment where your brain is offering an old solution to a new version of you. You don't have to take it. This is something people don't talk about enough. When food is no longer your go to comfort, it can feel like a loss. You're no longer numbing in the same way. You're no longer chasing that predictable hit of relief, and that can feel strange, even sad. That grief is valid. You're not just changing how you eat, you're letting go of an old way of coping. And even though the change is good, it's okay if it feels uncomfortable. That discomfort means your relationship with food is shifting, and that's powerful. This is the bigger picture. When you start to heal your relationship with food, you also start to rebuild your relationship with yourself. You begin to trust your cues. You begin to respond to discomfort with curiosity instead of avoidance. You begin to choose what serves you, not just what soothes you. GLP-1s can open the door, but you are the one walking through it. And that's where the sustainable change happens. Not in the absence of food thoughts, but in your ability to respond to them with compassion and clarity. If food still feels like it has a hold on you, even with the help of a GLP-1, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. Your brain is adjusting, your habits are shifting, and your nervous system is learning that it doesn't have to run the same playbook forever. This isn't about getting it perfect. It's about understanding yourself more deeply and making choices that align with the way you want to live now. So the next time you think, why am I still thinking about food? I want you to remember, it's just a habit echo. You get to decide what happens next. If today's video helped you understand your brain a bit better, drop a brain emoji in the comments. And as always, I want you to remember, we can share our journeys, but we should never compare them. Bye.